Now, you know, in Africa, we sing, we dance, and we eat. That is one way we celebrate who we are, njengabantu. But I have to find out more about you, Akhona. What brings you to our loft?
Food brings me to the loft, definitely. I love food and I love experimenting with different flavors. And it's so great that we are starting this off on, you know, the African heritage and what inspires us.
Very exciting stuff. Tumi, I loved what you did last week. Last week, you paved the way. You gave us a good foundation to build an incredible recipe. You said, let's get to know our chef.
Yes,
before any cooking happens.
Yes, Palisa, because we don't want guests in our homes that we don't have a background on, you know? So what we're trying to do here is we're trying to make sure, are you vetted enough to be in our studio? Can you really, you know, do exactly what you say you can? And I feel like she's bringing the juice. So tell us more about yourself, Akhona. How did you actually start this journey of becoming a chef?
Well, I started at a pretty young age, in high school when I did like home economics. So that was really like a great introduction to the industry. And then I went to university, did my degree, and then I was like, I actually want to give back this knowledge that I have. And then, you know, I worked a little bit in a couple of restaurants and I was like, actually, let me start venturing into teaching. And now I'm here.
Okay. I know, we actually had one of your students last week, South Africa. I don't know if you remember, we had Imtiaz, he came through and he was like, I'm not really a chef just yet. I mean, Tumi was a very good friend of him, his own master, at your own very own cooking show, Taste Master.
Yes, Palisa. And I also want to proudly say that I'm also an alumni to the very same school that chef is from. So it looks like we are representing here, you know, we are bringing the juice, we're making sure that everyone understands, Guti, as much as it is a passion, it is something that you need to, study for, learn for. And I think the one thing that I've noticed is that the passion that you have didn't just start now, like you said. It started years ago. I mean, who influenced this journey of yours?
My mom pretty much started the whole thing off because, you know, when you're at home and your mom starts cooking, you're like, Mom, what are you making? Can I help? And then it starts, you know, budding off into, you know, you looking at this into a career, and then now you're at the Afternoon Express studio.
It's so interesting that you say that in your words. Mom, what's on the menu? So what can we expect on today's masterclass?
So today we're doing chicken hearts, which is like a really, really great hearty meal. Great for, you know, even the weather that we have now. So it is like a really great dish. And also we're going to be making like amagwinya sliders, which is another South African favorite. And you can also, you know, do your own interpretation of the dish. And then we also have the oxtail with a creamy, smooth pup.
Ooh, girl, it seems as if you're ticking all of our South African favorites. But another favorite of mine has to just be the different ways in which we celebrate our heritage. So my first question to you is, when you are repping the Swazi surname, what tribe, what culture, what heritage are you repping? And then how does that be translated into the dishes you're going to create?
So obviously, you know, my influence is from my background, my mom, my grandparents, and then, you know, what you see in the world as far as, you know, what interests you, how do you want to, you know, make these different recipes a little bit more creative, modern. So as far as, you know, the different dishes that we're going to be making today, it's all obviously South African inspired with the twist of, you know, the today's kind of skill and finesse. I
love that. And I think, Palisa, that celebrates exactly what Africa is about. With us South Africans, we've got a saying, umuntu ngabantu, and there's no better way to celebrate that than by plating up a dish for people. You know, even strangers are always welcome in our home. If I'm eating, the guest never leaves. If you're dishing up supper, everyone just stays and has supper.
Everyone gets a plate. You know, my mom used to just cook these big old pots of food because she's like, you never know who's going to stop by. So if I were to say my favorite South African chef, my favorite local chef has to be my mom. If I were to ask you, who's your favorite South African chef?
Favorite South African chef, definitely, hands down, would be Ruben Rifle. He's like a really cool chef, and also he is South African. So I relate so much to his background and what inspires him, you know, when it comes to food.
That's so beautiful.
I love to throw forward, you know. Everyone is always like, what is coming up? What can we expect as the show unfolds? In today's masterclass, we actually go back to Ruben Riffel's hometown of Franschhoek, right here in the Western Cape. So I want you, pay attention, take your notepad out, see where your favorite comes from, because we won't be serving that.
Great, great.
So Tumi, not only are we serving information, not only are we serving heritage, not only are we serving African flair and finesse, but we're serving up delicious hearty meals. So what do you have first for us?
Well, we're starting with the hearts, like Akhona said, and we're going into a couple of different ways to enjoy them and eat them. I mean, I'm an intlizio. I mean, what better way to start than the heart of the matter?
Yeah.
Ding, ding. So I'm looking forward to that. I mean, the one thing I love about it is such an economical ingredient to use. Most people overlook it. Most people want to eat the livers and everything else, and they don't know how many nutrients are in the hearts as well. So it's a beautiful way to start this cook-along, and I'm excited just for the whole menu. Is tandela magwinya. There's nothing I get excited to wake up to like igwinya in the morning.
Yeah.
So I am excited to see exactly how we zhuzh that up today.
Well, Akhona, kick us off. What do we need to create our very first dish?
So with our first dish, we definitely need the hearts, right? And we also need to clean them. So the best way to clean them, you basically just take out one, and then you cut it in half, like so, and then you just run it under cold running water, right? And then once you do that, you put it into a separate bowl, and then you can start with the marinade. And then the marinade is just your chutney, which is also another South African favorite. And then you also have your spice and your seasonings as well. And then just to top it up, you can use, you can add in some vegetables, some peppers like we have over there, and also some onion and a little bit of greens on top.
Happy to play. I've got the greens on top.
Yeah.
Dumi, you have got the chakalaka in there as well. So I do believe, are we not going to be cooking now, or should we leave the cooking for coming up?
Let's leave it for later, Balis.
Okay. So if you had to think of just one dish that represents your heritage, what would that dish be? Remember to use that hashtag Afternoon Express in all of your comments. Now, organ meats are an African delicacy, and coming up, we're going to be learning how to best make the most out of our chicken hearts.